Welcome to the Runaround. On this week's podcast, I have a very, very special guest, Miss Lisa Decker. I'm really excited for you all to get to see this interview that we did. It was very deep. She may have cried a couple of times. I may have cried. Brian may have cried. So be prepared. You might just cry. But we're going to get to learn a lot about Lisa before even her running and what she's accomplished and some of the struggles that she's had in her life and how she's able to overcome them. And just to let you know, she is an inspiring person. So you will definitely enjoy this one. Sit back and enjoy. And don't forget, like, smash, or however they do it, the subscribe button and like button, and leave a comment on here. And hey, looking forward to sharing this with you. Let's record.
We're recording.
We're recording. Hey, look who I got here.
Hi.
This is the Runaround. Brian's behind the scenes, and we have our first ever guest, Lisa Decker.
Second guest.
Second guest.
Oh my God! Now I'm in trouble already. It took me.
Love you, Christina. See, I got your back, girl.
Oh my
Wow.
God!
We just talked about this earlier. We were talking about, man, did he already screw up?
Hey, that's my life.
That is your
Screwing
life.
up.
Dang.
I'm such a screw up.
Say
I'm
that
sorry.
again.
Okay.
Sorry, dear, for forgetting about you. But I was thinking more of my first guest that is a fellow ultra runner, and we do a lot of running together.
We have a lot of training miles.
A lot.
So many.
I've been waiting so long to do this. I just went totally blank in my head. So I'll start with. How long have I talked about wanting to do a podcast with you?
Oh, years.
Yeah.
Like, how long have we known each other? 2-3 years?
It's going to be 3 years in.
He knows the exact date.
In
I
the
don't.
summer.
In the summer.
Because there's a whole story behind that.
There's a whole story behind that.
There's a whole story. It sounds a little stalkerish story. I'm going to call it manifesting. I manifested that I was going to be.
You manifested my friendship.
I did. I may have stalked a little bit, but I manifested that I'm going to be friends with this Lisa Decker I see on Facebook that is doing all these things. She lives in my same city. So
we live like 5 miles away from
I
each
know,
other.
and look where it happened. See, so if you believe, now don't stalk people, okay? Don't do that. But if you believe in something, you want it bad enough, you think about it enough, it's gonna happen. So yeah, it's been many years we've talked about this podcast. I probably practiced. You didn't know this, but I probably practiced questions and talking to you on the trails. All of our therapy sessions that we've had on the trails.
We have a lot of trail therapy sessions.
A lot
of trail therapy.
And he needs the therapy.
I'm a great therapist.
She is awesome therapist. Like
She was our therapist last week.
she was.
I was the couples therapist with Brian and Chris.
Me and Brian, we go through stuff all the time because we're so much alike. We're both stubborn and hard-headed, and
We? I didn't know he spoke French.
what do you mean? You think I'm the only one?
Between us?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, let me just start with Lisa. Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason we're here.
We're here for Lisa, and I don't know what I did with this thing right here, but I messed it up.
It's fine.
Well, I put it like.
Yeah,
You
I'll
gonna
take
cuddle
it.
with it? You're like not even in the frame. Come scoot closer to me.
I was trying to see.
Act like you're my friend.
Mm-hmm.
We are friends,
We're
actually.
friends. We're great friends.
So, Lisa, we're gonna start way back.
Ooh, okay.
Way back.
Way back when.
Where were you born?
I was born in Bakersfield, California.
Really? You're a Californian.
I lived in California until I was 10.
Oh, so you're not that much of a Californian.
No, I got to Texas as fast as I could.
Really? So
But
when
I do love California. Grew up, dad's side of the family was like the mountains and camping, and mom's side of the family was like the beach and that kind of stuff. So I got like the best of both worlds.
Oh my God. See, I've never been to California,
It's beautiful.
so I don't know what that's like. You think that has anything to do with the way you love what you love with the mountains?
100%.
Oh, really?
I grew up, my dad's family had like a cabin up in Northern California in the Sierras with the huge trees that are up there and near a lake, and just go and we'd hike up and hang out at the lake and sit out by the campfire. Like, it's probably why I enjoyed trail running so much, because it's the same. You go
Right.
play out in the woods, and then you come home and sit around a campfire and sleep in a tent.
Wow, that's so lucky. And then you do that still to this day.
Still to this day. I love
So
it.
if you were gonna, so we'll fast forward a little bit. So you're 10 and you leave California. How'd that happen?
Well, my dad was in the oil field, so
Okay.
of course we started in California. Bakersfield is pretty much oil or farming is pretty much all that's out there. So we ended up in Midland, Texas, and I stayed there through high school and some college, and then they moved out Houston area. Same with oil. When I was in high school, or summer I graduated high school, and I stayed in Midland for a little bit, and then
Oh,
followed
wow.
them here.
So Midland, what's Midland like? Do you remember those years?
I like to forget those. No, Midland was great. I mean, I lived there before. I think there was a huge oil boom that happened right after I left, and the town just exploded with people coming in and doing the oil field. But I liked it. It was kind of had the small town feel when I lived there. And had,
All I know about Midland is that show Landman. I don't know if you've seen, there's a new show
have
out with
not
Billy
seen
Bob Thornton.
that
and
one.
and it's based in Midland.
well, there was
It's
one
pretty
time I
cool.
did try to find Billy Bob Thornton in Midland because
Really?
Friday Night Lights, the movie, was filmed my senior year of high school, and they
Shut
used my high school, our marching band, our football players. They filmed a lot of the scenes like
Oh
during
my
real
God.
football games, and I was like, "Where's Billy Bob Thornton? Where's Tim McGraw?"
Oh wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So were you a Friday Night Lights person?
Oh yeah, I was at every football game.
Really?
Yeah, I loved it
Why?
because that's the only thing to do.
So you did, I thought you were gonna say, I loved football. I love football butts or something like, you know.
Not
like-
really a huge football fan, but all my friends played, and that was kind of just what
Oh, okay.
we did. And
So you don't have cheerleading in your background or anything like that? No.
No.
What did you do in school?
I played soccer and volleyball. Volleyball was my main sport until about my sophomore year, and then wasn't very. I mean, I was good, but I just wasn't really making it in the varsity.
Right,
so
right.
took my junior year off, and then I joined the swim team my senior year.
Wow. I mean, we've never talked about this on the trail. I told you we're gonna
You get to know,
dig.
you
I
get
said
to know,
we're
you
gonna
get to
dig.
know a different side of
You
Lisa.
get to see a different, but it's kind of wild how that kind of connects. Whenever I watch a lot of podcasts and I listen to a lot of them, just a little bit, and you get to hear people's. This is what I like is you get to hear about their real and how they got to where they're going, and a lot of this is starting to add up. Like you were athletic
Yeah.
when you were younger, and most people, that's how they end up doing something crazy when they get older. So.
I think so.
That's wild. So which sport did you like the best?
Probably volleyball. That was my
Volleyball?
main sport.
So were you the person that went over the thing and said, "Wham! Spike on you"?
Tried to.
You did?
I need
Oh, you didn't have any pictures of that?
Probably. I could probably
Oh,
drum
that
up
would be
some
cool to
old
see.
high school
Oh, that
volleyball
would be so cool
pictures
to see.
or videos. Video wasn't really good back
Right.
in the early 2000s, but
Was your parents the type that would film a lot, or videotape, or pictures, or
I take pictures.
did they go to the games all the time?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Mom and her dad went volleyball tournaments all over Texas and
Oh, tournaments.
tournament. Yeah, I played club volleyball
Oh my God.
tournaments.
So you were something else then.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Now, did you ever have injuries during that time?
I've always had like a left ankle issue since I was a kid. I sprained it really, really, really bad when I was like 6 or 7, I think. And it just has stayed weak. And with volleyball, they like force you to wear, for liability, ankle braces, especially in high school and middle school. And ankle braces do nothing but make your ankles weaker. So
Just keep you from spraining it
to
again.
keep it from spraining it again, but also keeps it from like getting stronger and getting stability. So the left ankle is still,
Right.
it is what it is. But
That's the one that's-
no
that's
other-
the one that's
that's the one
bulged
that's
up
that's
right
the one
now,
that's
right?
yeah, I got x-rayed last week. So, but it's fine. It's just puffy.
Just a little puffy. Oh,
Just
I
a
seen
little
it.
puffiness.
It looked like a little ball was in there. Did you see that picture of Cal's ankle?
Oh gosh.
Oh my God, I guess he sprained it at the
Bounces.
canyons.
Yeah. It looked rough.
Whew, that was a lot. So when you leave high school, what was the next? That's when you came to Houston.
I did 2 years of college at Midland College.
Okay.
They were kind of working their way up, I guess, to being a university. So they had like the dorms and the meal plan and stuff. So I had like I just scholarship program, so I had like tuition paid for.
Okay,
So why not?
cool.
I just went there and did a couple years and
Right.
had a little too much fun, but
So it's more fun.
Then I ended up here.
It was more fun than school, huh?
A little bit.
That happens.
School and I aren't just the best of friends.
I have a
but-
daughter that went through that as well. So then you finish. So then you come here.
Yeah.
So are you doing any running yet?
No.
No running yet?
No,
Or were you just partying? You're just a party girl at that time?
Kind of.
Really?
It was my 20s that
Oh, yeah.
I was just, I was trying to make friends, and I made some that were still in the party scene, and
Right.
ended up hooking up with some other friends that were in a band, metal band, some death metal, and became really good friends with one of the lead singer's girlfriend turned wife, they're not together anymore, but I was in their wedding, so we were really
wow.
close and stuff, but still
So-
in the party scene for a while with them still.
And that was here or there?
It was here.
That was
Yeah,
here.
they're
So you
local.
came here and you met them here, or you met them there? Oh, you
Met
met
them in
here.
Houston, yeah. And we're in Kingwood, actually.
In Kingwood. Oh, so
Yeah.
y'all moved to Kingwood and you've been to Kingwood ever since?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, wow. So you've been to Kingwood. How many years is that?
2005 or 6, 20 years?
Oh, wow. 20 years.
20 years I've been here?
So do you consider yourself a Texan or do you consider yourself a Californian?
Texan, 100%.
That's what I'm
100%.
talking about. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I remember the first time you told me you was like that you was from California. I was like, that doesn't seem right.
No.
This
Like I
seems-
said, I got here as fast as I could.
She seems so much
I
like
was
a
I was
Texan,
brought here kicking and screaming, but now I don't think I could see it any other way.
right? I mean, once you love it, you love it. There's nothing you can do. So now you're here, your heavy metal band, hanging out, partying. What's after that? So now you're in your mid-20s. You start working.
Yeah,
you
I've been working as a pharmacy tech at Walgreens I think I started there when I was like 19 or 20.
Oh my
And
God!
I've been a pharmacy tech ever since.
Wow.
Hopped around.
So you started pharmacy tech that, but you haven't been at this specific job for that long.
No.
No. Okay. So you just been doing that field
That field for about
for 20 years.
just about
almost?
18, 19.
Man, that's
Time.
It is. It is a long time to be in one field. Trust me, I done it. Have you? What about you, Brian? You still back there awake?
Man, I'm here. I do. I have 19 years, but I have credit for 20.
Oh, okay.
That's the way it rolls. So I'm going to take that 20 years.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
So we're all in the 20 club. I worked for a company for 20 years. You worked for 20 years.
I
and
don't
you
know
worked.
if you've worked for 20.
I don't know if I worked either, but I was there, and they paid me actually money. So I was there for a little
You
while.
were there.
Yeah. So So it seems like when did you start running at all?
Probably around, I think like 2013 or so, just trying to
Okay.
get back in shape.
What was the reason for what was the spark? Like, how does that start? Like, comes out of nowhere or?
Kind of just trying to change my life. I think around 2012 was when I was a smoker, so I quit smoking in 2012. And there's this thing called like transfer addiction, if anybody's heard of it. So I think my cigarette addiction turned to food.
Okay.
So I was like eating a lot, gaining a lot of weight, and was not happy with where that was going. So I started running, 5Ks, 10Ks. Did a couple of half marathons. Wasn't really a fan of road half marathons because I am not a fast person, and I was chasing cutoffs. And you and I have talked about this. I don't like chasing cutoffs. I don't like feeling stressed. I don't like that pressure. It's not fun. So yeah, then I think it was like a few years after that I found the trail running, and I was like, oh, this race has a 25K and a 100-miler. So I literally have 30 hours
All that time.
to go 15 miles. Like, I can do this.
Right. Nice. So I missed something in there somewhere.
Yeah.
When was the first step? Do you remember that? Do you remember like when was the first step? Like, I'm gonna do a 5K. Like, I remember my first 5K because someone introduced it to me. Do you remember how that came
I
up?
think my boss and I did like a fun run 5K, one of those color runs where they throw
Right,
like the powder
right.
at
Yeah,
you
yeah,
and you
yeah.
get
Well, that
cut and you
sounds
like
kinda
end
fun,
up
though,
blowing
right?
like blue snot for like 2
Was
days.
that fun?
Oh, it was so much fun.
Okay.
I had a blast. We dressed up, we were on neon and stuff, and And I think actually it's still with my boss. Like she's been my boss almost 15 years
Okay.
now. And we also did the Avon Walk for breast cancer together.
Nice.
So that's 26 miles one day and 13 the next day. So that kind of maybe sparked my interest in the longer distances.
That makes a lot of
but
sense.
her and I did that together, and I'm like, well, I can do this. Like, this is fun.
Nice. That's really cool to see, because I think we give roadies a hard time.
Yes, we do.
We give them a hard
little
time.
bit.
We tell them, "Oh, you're so focused on the pace." And I've been a roadie before. I think a lot of us I don't know very many people that started out on a trail.
Yeah, no.
You get introduced to a 5K.
You get converted and never look back.
Yes. Well, they always say that once you go trail, you don't go back. You know, and but it's very cool that the two that you're talking about, because it really relates to what you do now, that I see now. I don't want to jump there yet, but what I see you doing now, why you do what you do now, goes back to a lot of like, it's how it all kind of, even with a road, like you're doing it for charity, you're doing it, it was a lot of fun. And those are two things I know about you, is fun and charity.
Yes.
I mean, those are very important, at least from my point of view about you, those are very important to you.
100%.
So let's talk about, that was interesting what you said about your, was that transfer addiction?
Transfer addiction,
So cigarettes. How long did you smoke cigarettes?
About 7 years, maybe.
7 years?
Like, thought I'd be the cool kid in college, hanging outside the dorm.
How'd you smoke a cigarette?
I don't.
Were you like the girl in Greece where he goes, "You better shape up," and you put the cigarette down and you do that?
I was more like the moody, like, emo kid with like the ripped jeans and black t-shirts.
You wore all black.
I wore the black t-shirts and jeans, and dyeing my hair dark.
I
and
can
the
see
dark,
these
the
pictures.
Dark. I don't know. My laptop got stolen, and I can't get into MySpace anymore. So those pictures are kind of
they're gone. Really gone.
A lot of them are gone.
Oh my god.
Unless I can hack. I mean, I can hack into my MySpace, but that website doesn't really work anymore.
Oh wow.
There's some incriminating, not really incriminating, but some interesting pictures.
Some interesting pictures. So you feel like that when you quit that, two things happened or one thing happened? Well, you said you started running, and then you said
I started running,
and then you started eating. So you said two things. So you think those go like? You
started
started one, and
I think I also kind of justified, like, I'm running more, I can eat more too.
Oh, I've been there.
Like the food still has just always been that thing in my life. Like, I don't know.
So what kind of relationship do you have with food?
Now?
Back then,
I was a binge eater. I would sit and I could just eat until you just feel uncomfortable and just disgusted almost with yourself. And that's pretty much what I did. I don't know. It wasn't just like I would like use it to like stuff down my emotions, because it was like every emotion. I was happy, I ate. Sad, I ate. Angry, I ate. Like I just always felt like that hunger never got filled. Like I never got full, I guess.
do you talk to other people and have the same issues, you think?
Now I do, like, since I think finding the ultra running community. Like before then, like I said, my 20s were kind of wild. You kept a lot to yourself because you're afraid of also being judged, and all the type of crowd I ran with, like, probably wasn't the best to open up about that stuff, because then there'd be, gossiping here and there. So when, you'd open up about, or hear somebody else open up, and then I'm like, oh, okay, somebody else.
Right.
Like,
I'm not alone.
Goes through this. So I've really started opening up more
in the trail
running community, because I'm like, somebody else may need just one person to open up to them, for them to feel like, oh, okay, I'm not the only one. I can talk about this too.
I
so
agree.
I just, from then just wanted to live my life out loud. This is all of me.
I love it. I love it, because I feel the same way. When you get on a trail and you're doing so many miles with somebody, by the time you're done, it's like, oh, they know where you were born. They know every deep, dark secret.
Yes. Yeah, everything. I have a couple of those out there for sure.
So during those, do you have any time that you can remember, like maybe a breakthrough time when you talked to a certain person during a race and you kind of started seeing what you're talking about, that you wanted to start sharing it more and being more open about what you were going through? Because I think it'd be really helpful for other people to see, like, your journey through that, because I'm sure there's somebody going through it.
Probably.
Right now.
I don't have like a specific conversation that I could think of, but I just know that I feel more comfortable being able to talk with just a complete stranger. Like there'll be somebody that'll be talking to for 5 minutes on a trail and immediately like we're in some kind of personal, deep stuff, and just because I feel comfortable with them.
Right.
Like I don't know, I haven't always felt that sense of comfort with people at all. So it's been kind of new for me the last, like decade I've been doing this.
Yeah. The trail people, your people, huh?
They are my people. I found my people. I found my tribe.
You found your tribe. So during this journey, how many years was it that you struggled with the weight, with the eating,
Gosh, I feel like
with all those
pretty
things?
much my whole adult life, like even in college, like had some issues with it, but I think the weight probably been about 15, 18 years that I dealt with being overweight, obese, I guess you would say.
So how does that, like, because in my life right now, this is really personal to me too, because in my life right now, my wife, it's no secret, my wife went through that and I didn't really understand it, when I met her, she was the way she was, and I love her how she is. But now that she's went through some changes, I mean, it's a lot of mental. Like that's a lot of years to be in that space. What decision did you decide to make that, put you over the edge, or because running wasn't enough for you?
No, I think it was because of running.
Okay.
I definitely was very proud of being able to do, like, I did my first 100 snowdrop in 2018.
Yes.
And just thinking, like, you talk about you want to do it for something that's bigger than yourself. So, and I'm a crier. I'm going to cry.
You're going to make me cry now.
I know. I always cry.
Brian, are you crying yet?
Not yet.
No, I'm not doing it. Not my time to cry.
Not yet. But not only, are you doing this for Snowdrop, for kids with cancer, but also to prove for people that looked like me that they could do it too.
Yes.
So I think that's why I always kept pushing myself, because, you don't ever see people that look like I did doing those things. So I'm like, I'll be that person. I'll do it to prove to myself and to others that it can be done.
100%.
100%.
I remember very much that was, I read this thing and this really resonates with me. And when I met you, you were trying to do 60.
Oh, God.
This is like a big circle too.
I know, big
it's
circle.
3 years later. It's a big circle, but I'll try to make it quick because I want this to be about you. But the big circle was when I met you, the first thing we did was I went with you at Memorial and we did overnight loops.
Yeah.
Because you were trying, the weekend before, you were trying your damnness to get that possum's belt buckle.
I know, they were doing a virtual to earn these ridiculous belt buckles that I'm still trying to get. And I was like, okay, I'll go to Memorial Park and do 69 miles. But the time frame was in July. It was hot.
It was hot.
It was miserable. And
I still name this as one of my, I had seen
I
things.
think I put in almost 200 miles trying to get to that
Oh
thing.
my God. And so we still haven't got it yet.
Still haven't got it
Yet.
Yes.
I went out overnight, and that's actually, it's crazy. That's how I met Brian too.
Right, yeah.
That
You both
next
came out to
morning,
support me.
next morning, all kind of connected through Tommy. So shout out to Tommy. I don't know if he watches the podcast,
Hey,
but
Tommy.
shout out to Tommy.
Miss
He kind of
you.
connected all of us
Miss
together. And
you.
look what we're doing here. We're all together, and it's because of Tommy.
Tommy's crew.
But I went out and I did the overnight with you because at the time, even though you couldn't be my daughter, I was thinking from a dad's point of view of she's going out there and she's going to be, what if nobody else goes and she's going to be alone?
Yeah,
and a
Memorial
woman
Park.
alone in Memorial Park overnight. So I said, I'm going. Talked to the wife, I went and did it was the hardest. I mean, I got blisters. I never got blisters before at that point. But the real thing, I remember, I don't know where it was I heard it, but someone wrote a letter to a podcast, and somebody read it. And in the letter, I'm going to chop it up terribly, but I remember them just saying it was an inspirational letter from a regular person that wasn't overweight. And they said, I see you. I see you running. I see you at the gym. I know the basis of what she was saying. It was beautifully written. I so wish I could have had it in front of me right now, because it was so beautifully written that you, a person just like Lisa, was inspiring her because she knew how hard it is for you to do what you were doing compared to what she was doing.
Yeah.
Like, you were the biggest inspiration. I know she wasn't talking about you specifically, but I thought of that because she was talking about someone that was overweight in the gym, going there with all those inner feelings that you probably had. Probably, I don't know, I'm not you, but how much did you have those feelings when you were doing what you were doing?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
No matter what anybody tells you, you still thought that, right? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. So you finished your first snowdrop in
2018.
2018.
18, 19.
Was that your first 100 miles?
First 100, yes.
Wow.
And then 2 months later, I did another 100 at Jackalope.
Wow. So without, of course we're going to talk about a little bit about racing, but so you get through these, how many races did you do at this weight, basically? How many years was that journey for you?
For ultras, God,
You did a lot.
8,
Yeah.
7 and a
Yeah,
half,
you
8
did right now, but a
years.
lot, right?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Doing hard things.
Doing
really
hard things. So, how'd you get here? How'd you get here? Because as somebody doesn't know Lisa, they're thinking they're hearing this story, and they're like, "Well, she doesn't look overweight. How'd you get here?"
Almost 2 years ago, or a little over 2 years ago, I went under the knife and I had gastric sleeve weight loss surgery. And that definitely was a really big decision to make because that's scary, it's drastic. But everything else I tried just wasn't working. I know mentally, like, this is what I needed. Like, my issues with food was the overeating. And so with gastric sleeve surgery, like, my stomach's like, it's like a little banana now. And I can't eat as much, which is great. Like, I mean, trust me, there's been times where I'm wanting, like, my head and my eyes are like bigger than my stomach, and I'm like, oh, I can eat all this, and I'm like, okay, no, I'm good. Like,
right.
So that's definitely been a huge help, is that tool. And then I've just worked a lot mentally on myself too.
So
made the opinion that learning that I'm worthy of it.
You made that decision, but how long before you did the surgery did you think about doing? Did you thought that might be something?
I think I initially I started the process with another, like, a long time ago in, like, 2016.
Okay.
I got about 80% through of all the prerequisites and kind of got cold feet, got talked out of it. Didn't do it, but I'm glad I didn't, because at that point in my life, I was not ready mentally to make that big change. I probably would have ended right back where I started. So
you went through it, almost there, and no, not gonna do it. So what did you do between then and then?
Probably ate my feelings again. But continued doing, the ultras.
All the ultras.
Like, 2016 was my first 50K that I did for my birthday, and then just kind of started, something just popped up in my memories on Facebook where I double booked a weekend of Jackalope Jam and the Avon Walk for breast cancer that I was a crew member. We used to serve, with a bunch of people, we would do lunch, the halfway, serve the food. And so I was doing miles of Jackalope Jam, driving into Houston, working my shift, driving back, and I ended up doing, like, I signed up for 48 hour, I think was the longest Jackalope Jam had. I had 50 miles while driving to and from Houston, and
that sounds like something you would do, though.
It is. I can't say no, and I'm like, okay, I double booked myself. I'm gonna do both of them. I'm gonna figure it out. That's always been my thing. Like, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna figure it out and do it.
And you're just gonna do it.
And I'm just gonna do it.
Especially you're helping others.
Yeah.
So that's a big reason why I think you do a lot of things, is to help someone else. So we're at the time of the surgery. How did that, like, when you finally decided, was there something that triggered, like, okay, this time I'm gonna do it?
I think seeing some other people go through the same thing and seeing their results definitely were a big thing. But also I was terrified because I over-research and overthink everything, and I would join, like, all these Facebook support groups and reading stuff, and some people are like, it's been 5 years and I still can barely eat and drink this much, and I was terrified that I was going to have to sacrifice ultrarunning to do this, because with ultrarunning you have to be able to eat and drink a certain amount, and I was like,
a lot,
no matter what, I can still have the community. Like, I love volunteering and crewing and doing all that stuff. So if that's all that I can do after this, like, I'll try it, but I was willing to sacrifice ultra running.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. So you got to a point that you felt like you could lose. You were in such a position. You're like, this is so important to get my health. If I lose being able to run ever again, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, or run longer distances. I knew I guess I would still be able to do small stuff.
You just wasn't sure.
Wasn't sure. So.
Wow, that's a lot. Now, so did you have anybody? Because the reason my wife had the similar surgery, I don't think she had the exact one. Did
not
she?
The same. She had gastric bypass.
So she had a similar, and it's had the similar results basically, and about I think 3 months apart from when yours was. Mm-hmm. And so I've got to see firsthand like how mentally challenging it is for her to this day. Like it's not just I wish there was a therapy for the spouse or anybody supporting you. So that's what I wanted to really ask. Like during this process, have you had people to support and help through this? And so if the reason I'm saying this, if somebody's going through this, they shouldn't do it alone.
No, they shouldn't. And you need to have like a support, people that have your back. Like I had my parents that were supporting me, my siblings, my friend. I had a lot of friends that had my back and helped me out and made sure everything was okay.
So how do those friends feel when you started? Like, is it true that 2 weeks after or something you said, "Oh, I'm gonna do a 5K or a 10K or what was it?"
It was 9 days.
Oh shit!
9 days after I had surgery. Well, I was already signed up for it, so I was gonna do it. I mean.
You signed up.
I signed up.
If I die, it's okay. I
did ask my surgeon less than 24 hours after surgery. I said, "Hey, I have this 5K. What are your thoughts?" And I was like, "I'm gonna walk. Of course, I'm gonna walk it. I'm not gonna ruin this stuff." And he's like, "Well, as long as your hydration has been under control, because I know sometimes drinking is kind of hard after that." And he's like, "And just make sure you have somebody with you." So Christina LeBay walked the whole thing with me and got it done. Of course, it was at St. Arnold's. I couldn't have any of the beer, so I brought my protein shake and my water and just sat and hung out, and it was a good time.
What did that do for you, like going through that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did you feel like, I know it takes time. Like, how long did it take before? And I do know this, so let me make sure I don't mess it up. I know there was many times my wife was fixated on the number on the scale.
Yes.
And I know you don't care about that. I know you've told me 1,000 times. Chris, I don't care about that number.
Yes, I don't care about
So I know that. So everybody, don't ask. That was not the focus.
There's this thing
that was not the reason.
A lot of people that go through a weight loss journey, they'll put out into the universe. They say, "This is my starting weight. This is my current weight. And then this is my goal weight." And I'm like, I never had a goal weight. It was always just be happy, healthy, and strong.
And we ain't got there yet, but I think you're going to show
them. We're getting there.
I think you're going to show them where you ended up and where you are now. And so you get here and you did the 5K. And so when you start, let's say, how long before you did your first ultra after surgery?
I think it was about 6 months. Did Paris Pear 50K with my friend Kim. We walked the whole thing, and then Kim, Trey, and myself, we all walked the evening 5K and had like light up tutus and bow ties and stuff afterwards. So it was good to like ease back into that, and and I wasn't planning on doing much more than that year, but I I surprised myself.
So let's this is always fun. So now. You've done the 50K, so what does that spark in your mind?
So I wasn't going to do the solo snowdrop that year.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know if I'd be able to.
How many months after Paris is that?
That's 3 months?
And
3.5 months?
3.5 months. And it's about 8 or 9 months after surgery?
Yes.
March, right? March.
April,
December,
May, so
June.
9 months.
Okay.
So
9 months.
If that was going to happen.
Past surgery, you decided to do what?
I was originally signed up for the relay.
Okay.
With Misty, and I did do the relay because I was like, I can't let Megan down because Megan's amazing. But then I asked if I was like, I'm feeling good, can I also do it solo? And they were like, we talked about it, go for it. Like, we don't want to deny anybody from that. I'm like, cool. And it wasn't until a few weeks before, 7 weeks, when Hudson passed away. And then I decided to wear my weight vest the whole time. So I did 100 miles with a weight vest.
Okay, we didn't talk about Hudson.
We have not talked about Hudson.
Let's back up a sec. I'm sorry.
We'll back up.
Who's Hudson?
He was a little boy that I started running for. One of his moms is good friends with my sister and her wife. And he was diagnosed when he was 2 with a brain tumor. And 2 years later, he passed away. So.
That literally happened thank you, Brian.
Thank you. about 7 weeks before. And I was already kind of playing with the idea of wearing my weight vest because fast forward, I was training to ruck Jackalope Jam, which is going to happen 6 weeks later. But I had failed to reach 100 miles the 2 years before.
At Snowdrop?
At Snowdrop.
Okay.
And I was like, nope, I'm not going to wear my weight vest. It would be good training, but I'm not going to do it because I have to hit 100 miles. And then when that happened, I was like, it was kind of my way of carrying all the emotions that people go through. So I was like, I'll carry it with me.
That's rough.
Yeah.
So
I find the symbolism in everything.
Yes, well that's what I love about you is that you do. There's nothing you have not done if it wasn't for a greater purpose, and I think that's what keeps.
It's the only way you get through it.
Yeah, I think that's what
like
pushes
it won't
you.
happen unless you do it for.
If you do it for pace, or you do it for the buckle, right? Like that's not usually going to
Who
be
cares?
exactly. That's not going to be what. And I'm guilty of it, wanting a buckle, and
Oh yeah.
and then at the middle of the race when it sucks. Oh, I gotta get that buckle. That's not motivation enough.
No, you have to, like in my first snowdrop, like I had so many times of just sitting there being like, this sucks. Like I could just stop and my feet hurt. I think I was having to stop, I don't know how many times, get in my chair and lounge out, and put my feet up, let all the swelling go down. And I think that's where my lovely overnight skills and not sleeping started, because I was like, I don't have time to sleep. I have to keep going and going and going, and finally did it.
So when you finished, did you finish the snowdrop with the weighted vest?
I did, and then some.
Oh my God. And then some?
And then some.
How many miles did you end up doing?
I think I did like 108 or something.
108
like
with a 20 pound?
I did 20 pounds that time, yeah.
20 pound vest. Oh my God. And I feel like, is this the start of something new?
I think so. I fell in love with rucking and wearing weight while doing ultras after that. Like I've done 4 or 5 more ultras with my weight vest instead.
So what do you think, I know it has the symbol. Do you think that's what keeps it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
The symbol of carrying,
carrying all the emotions everybody feels when they watch their child go through that.
Man, that's pretty, that's heavy. And pun intended.
Yes, very heavy. It keeps getting heavier for some reason.
Oh my God.
It gains weight while I lose weight.
So we're rolling right along here, and now for context, let's say at this point, we're not gonna talk about numbers, but how better are you feeling? It's been a year. At this point, it's almost been a year.
Yeah.
Of your journey. How are you feeling physically at that point?
So much that, like, I just feel so strong, and I'm still surprising myself. Like I've never been a fast person. Like I prefer to walk over hike over running. I still like running, and when I do, it's not very fast, but I kind of.
That's a lie.
I played a game.
That's a lie. I'm sorry, Lisa. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm doing my best trying not to cut you off. But when you say her walking pace is not fast.
No, my running pace.
See, he's shaking his head.
Okay,
oh, your running pace.
My running pace.
Oh, your running pace.
Well,
we don't ever run together very often. So I don't know what that running pace is like.
I'm still learning what I'm capable of, or what.
But you walk me into the dirt every time. Yeah. Literally. And
she walks faster than I run.
Exactly. She walks faster than a lot of people.
Got a lot of practice.
Yeah, definitely. And we can get into that a little bit. I don't know if we have enough to get into that part of it because I have a whole theory behind that. But so now it's time for Jackalope Jam, right? Was that next?
Yeah, that was next.
Jackalope Jam. So what happens is you sign up for the 100 hours?
100 hours always.
And this is basically almost exactly a year after surgery.
Almost, because actually it was a celebration because of the Jackalope Jam before was when I got the phone call from my surgeon's office, like 40 miles into a race to schedule my surgery.
Nice.
So that was, it's kind of a
anniversary. This is the day that changed my life, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that's the day that changed your life?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I was surrounded by a great group of friends and we all
Nice.
celebrated, probably with fireball shots.
That's the only
That's
way
the only
to
way.
celebrate at
No,
an ultra.
not anymore. Well,
Have we seen her with Fireball?
Have we seen her with Fireball?
I
I
don't
think
know,
anybody
never.
watching this is going to comment below on this and say,
now, fireball,
Lisa,
honestly, it makes me want to gag, so I'm
That's
sorry.
somebody's going to carry on that tradition. I don't
We
know
have
who
to do
it's
like
gonna
maybe
be.
like pickle juice vodka or something.
Hey, there you go.
But yeah, I did. I signed up for the 100-hour, and Mr. Victor was actually the one who
Victor,
Victor
again, here
talked
comes
me.
this name.
He talked me into months before switching to the ruck.
Oh, wow. So they have
it's his
rucking
fault.
at the
It's his
Jackalope
fault. They
Jam.
do have a rucking
A
division.
rucking. So he told you to switch to it and you just said yes?
Sure, why not? Why not?
So in the ultra world, is there people that always talk you into things that seem crazy?
I think so, and definitely Victor's been there from first snowdrop. Like he shared my tent. He's one of the strays I took in
Okay.
to share my canopy with, and just ever since then, just the encouragement I've got to raise the bar. He's like, "Why don't you do this?" I'm like, "Never thought about it, but okay, let's see what happens."
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's a
And
beast. He's Mr. Habanero.
Yes. I don't know. I've just met him recently, as we'll get to that point. But from the more you talk about these next levels up, I have a different perspective of the thing now that I hear. Even this is the first time I heard this part. I didn't know he was behind the.
He was behind the
I didn't know he was behind the
he
rucking
rucks all
thing.
the time. Like that's his thing.
And he was behind a lot of things that you've done. So I would like to say that this guy has a lot of belief in you.
He does.
A lot of belief.
He does.
And we need people like that around us.
We were just chatting, and I was, giving him a hard time. How dare you have the audacity to believe I could do this? He's like, I wouldn't. If I didn't believe he could do it, I wouldn't suggest it. Like,
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So true. So how many miles was this, and what was the weight?
It was like a little over 30 pounds. I wanted to do the heavy ruck.
30 pounds?
Yes, because that's what Sierra did the year before, because she's a beast, and she had the woman's record. So my goal was to beat her record.
What was her record?
150.
150.
And I did 154 that year.
Wow. So now you do you
Now I'm starting to get a little competitive, which I never have been.
that is something that's strange. You're right. You've never
It
been
is strange. I've
competitive.
never been competitive.
So this next point, we can't go over every race from this
No,
point on
we
because
can't.
I'm going to tell you,
There's a lot.
you went on a tear this last year. A
24 was very.
24 was like the year of Lisa. If anybody's going to ask me, and I will debate, anybody wants to debate, Lisa in Texas and what she did, I don't know very many people that can touch what you did. I'm sorry. You were just simply amazing. I know you're going to blush, and people don't like people talking about them, but just sitting back watching all the things that you did in this amount of time. So we can say them. I don't remember them by heart, but I know it started off, I think, with the first time you did 100 miles in 36 hours. Is that right?
Under 36
at Achilles?
Achilles Hill.
Was that the start?
I think that kind of was the start because I, again, had not planned that. It was the first hot weekend. It's like the first weekend of June. It was hot. Most of it's on asphalt. So a lot of people just kind of, they used it to get to like 100K or another milestone. So I was like, I'll get to 100K. It's at least a buckle. And then maybe get to 80, help some people overnight, keep them company and see where it goes. And then I met this guy, Justin, who was friends with my friend Shashi. And he's like, well, I'm going for 100. And everybody else was stopping at 100K. And I'm like, he was only like a mile and a half ahead of me. I'm like, let's do it. And we stuck together the whole night. Like we probably did over 60 miles together. Now we're like best friends. So
That's the way it happens.
So that's the way it happens. Like we had the same taste in music. So it was just like an 8-hour emo sing along in the middle of the night. It was great.
I remember that because I remember I was so I know Lisa doesn't get to see this part a lot, but I haven't ever crewed you or been with these big events with you besides Jackalope until just recently. And normally I'm tracking you or seeing in that race. I don't think I had a tracker.
No, there
And
wasn't.
so I didn't know, and then I did know in
low-key.
my mind that you had never done 100 miles in 36 hours. I knew that.
I was like a
Snowdrop would probably be the
12-hour maybe PR in 100 miles. Like I don't even think I've done it in 48 hours.
Okay.
Like Snowdrop was always
usually at the end, the last day
towards
normally.
The last day,
Okay.
yeah. So I don't think.
Wow.
Maybe even a 15-hour PR. I don't know.
And this is perfect. I mean, I know I'm staying on Achilles for a little bit because that to me it's like
such a fun race.
it feels like a pivotal time. No, and the two things that were consistent that I see about you is you had to have fun. And you talk about that one the most out of most of the things that you did.
It was so
You and
much
Justin were
fun.
just like two peas in a pod.
God,
with
we're like
the party.
we're like the same person.
You talk about that partying so much, and so for you to party your way to a 12-hour PR, which I know it's not about, because I know you weren't thinking about
I wasn't even
how
thinking about 100
fast I could do or
miles.
how
I did
many
not-
I could do. You don't
I
think
never
that
even
way.
had 100 miles in my, but I think that just gave me the boost of confidence.
You just
that
wanted
I
to hang
needed.
out and have fun.
I
Don't
was, and
you
I
didn't even care about the
was.
100 miles.
I was
know
like, if I
that.
could help somebody else get to 100, because he has a goal to get 100 milers in his lifetime.
Okay.
I think he just finished one this morning.
Oh wow.
Number 29.
Go Justin.
Go Justin.
Wow, man, that's awesome.
And he'll be at Achilles again in a month, so we'll get to hang out. And we're doing the 48 hours, so maybe we'll push for 150. I don't know.
Oh, there you go.
Setting goals.
There you go, set and go. So then there's Achilles, and then it comes to, if I'm correct, did I miss anything? It's Habanero next.
Habanero.
And then you're just gonna run a 100K at Habanero?
Just a 100K.
In the 120-degree Texas heat?
But let's wear a ruck.
Let's wear a what?
Let's wear a ruck. My ruck
Oh.
club signed up,
Oh my God.
and yeah, they yeah.
So you rucked it.
I rucked it and got to get know more people in this rucking club that I had just joined. Texas Strong Rucking Club, amazing.
So you rucked it, 100K.
100K. Had a great time. Had so much fun.
That is
Smiled the
that
whole
is
time.
one, if anybody doesn't know about
It's the most
Habanero.
miserable race out there, but I had
Habanero,
so much
look
fun.
it up. In the Texas August heat, it's the worst. Starts at noon. Crazy. We can go into more detail at another time, but
Yeah.
that race is ridiculous. And to think of somebody rucking it. Had you ever heard of anybody rucking it before? I don't think I
I'm a
have.
special breed of crazy.
Special breed. Did Victor have anything to do with this one, or is this all
He
on
did
you?
not. That was actually all my ruck club.
Victor.
Maybe he might have.
Victor.
You know, I think I tried. No, he was gonna ruck it too, and he
Oh,
was
okay.
asking to borrow my weight vest. I brought it for him, which I'm glad I did, because then he bailed. He still ran the 100 milers because you're
Right.
amazing, and I wore my ruck for about 30K, and it was just a little too much, and switched to my weight vest for the last 70K. So I'm glad I had my weight vest with me that I brought for him that he didn't use. So, but he was gonna ruck it.
Wow,
still
that's
trying
so. So this year is starting off pretty strong. So then there's something that somebody in the Texas scene promotes, and you want to go for it. What is this thing called that we're talking about?
It's the Lone Star Slam of Hundreds, which there's 600 milers in Texas. They're actual 100 milers, aren't timed races. So that's Habanero, which didn't really find out about it or hear about it till after that. Otherwise, I might have signed up for the 100. Cactus Rose, Dinosaur Valley, Brazos Bend, Rocky Raccoon, and Grasslands. So I think after that I signed up for 4 of the 100 milers. So you could
So you
do
signed-
you could do 4 out of the 6, 5 out of the 6, or 6 out of the 6. So I signed up for 4 of them.
Okay.
I was already signed up for 2, so I just signed up for 2 more.
So we can't talk about everyone in detail, but let's just. How did it go?
I completed 1.
Good job.
Which,
good job.
honestly, no matter how heartbreaking the 2 were that I didn't finish before I finally got 1, I always said Brazos Bend was going to be the race that I will do my first non-fixed timed 100 miler, and I did. So
That's awesome.
and
So
it
proud
was
of
like
you.
an
That
amazing
was-
time, and I did the whole thing with Justin, which was not
Again,
planned.
right.
Again, was not planned, but 100 miles.
It was barely. It's a 32-hour limit, and you did it in like 30 or something. 30,
under 31
45
hours.
Under 31 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did the whole thing with
And I remember a
him
comment
and
you
my new
made,
friend Nicole.
and I felt like you were getting a little competitive, a little bit,
A little
because
bit.
I remember a little comment you made. You like, Yeah, we took kind of easy on the last loop, so probably could have came in under 30. And I never have heard you talk like that, so it really surprised me.
We were on pace for a really good time, but you know what? And then it just turned into a mission with Justin and I to make sure that Nicole, shout out to Nicole, to make sure that she finished her first 100. So
nice.
It just became like, and we were having a great time. Like, I mean, we were on a struggle bus too. Don't forget. We were all like, I mean, loop 5 out of 6 was probably the worst loop out there. It was raining, it was muddy, it was slippery, it was miserable, but then like the sun came up and we were like, we have 7 hours to do 16 and a half miles, let's do this. So we did it. It was so much fun.
So when I hear that story, it leads right back to who Lisa is. Someone who was in need, someone needed you picked them. Even if they wouldn't have finished, you would have stuck with them until the end, no matter what.
Yeah.
I already know who you are. You wouldn't have cared about meeting your time or whatever. You found another purpose to help someone.
Nicole and I, we talk every day.
Oh, awesome.
Every day.
You made a lifelong friend.
Lifelong friend.
That's so awesome. That is really awesome. So the 2 before that, and just real quick, so it was Cactus Rose, right?
Cactus Rose.
So how many miles did you get at that one? I gotta say this one was really interesting to me.
I got 95 miles.
95 miles, bro.
I was hallucinating so bad and convinced myself that I missed the cutoffs and that I wasn't gonna have time to finish.
So you had time to finish.
I had 2
what
hours
was missing
to go
at that
5
race
miles.
you think that you needed?
A pacer.
What? Help and a pacer.
So, and we've had this conversation. Every one of these has taught me a lesson,
Yes.
which I think you have to take something away from everyone. Cactus Rose taught me how to ask for help. I said earlier, I've always been that, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to figure it out on my own. And you can't do that. You can only get so far in life doing that. So, Dinosaur Valley, which was the next one coming up in November, I was like, I need pacers overnight. I need to make sure that I'm not getting too loopy and out of it. Like, I still don't even know how to utilize pacers. I just want company overnight. I think just having somebody be like, Lisa,
let's go.
That man in a kilt at the tree, he's not there. That aid station's not there. But that mountain that you need to go over to the finish line is there, and we're gonna do it. Like, that's all I needed. I had 5 miles to go. So sign up for it again, and I'm gonna get it this time.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
I don't have any doubt. How many miles was it at Dinosaur?
I got to 85 and I missed the cutoff.
And I'm not trying to be controversial, but I keep it real. This seemed like I heard, and you don't have to say who said it, but I seemed like I heard like that cutoff was like crap.
I think it may have been from the year before, but it's fine. Like, I took it with a grain of salt, and because 2 weeks later was Brazos Bend, so it was an 85-mile training run to Brazos Bend. That's all it was.
There you go. Good deal.
So again,
people make mistakes. So let me just say that I know people make mistakes. Things happen in races. People are not happy. But the way you're able to roll with it and not let it it is what it is. There was still plenty of time that I could have finished, but they told me the cutoff was hit here.
I'm a rule follower, and I was also following rules for Cactus Rose, even though there was nobody there to enforce it because it's a self-supported 100-miler. But I was following what I thought were the rules, but I was just...
You're like out of your mind, right?
I was up for 48 hours at that point.
So then you do Brazos. We talked about Brazos. Mm-hmm. And then here comes 3 weeks later. And so let's get this timeline first of all. I want to show this timeline here. Okay, this is the crazy timeline. 95 miles in Cactus Rose is in when? October. The end of October.
End of October.
3 weeks later is 85 miles in Dinosaur. Uh-huh. I know these are 2 DNS, but that's 95, 85. And then 2 weeks later is Brazos Bend. Uh-huh. And then that's 100 miles.
3 weeks later.
And then 3 weeks later is Snowdrop.
Again, my favorite race.
And are you going to use the vest this time or no?
I didn't. Well, I was going to run 20 miles, 5 miles in my vest.
Okay.
Repeat. I did that the first day, and then I was like, and then I just wanted to get to 100.
Okay.
And then I threw on my weight vest until the end. So I probably did about 25 miles with my weight vest.
Cool.
That time.
Does it feel any, like now at this point, how are you with your journey of your weight loss? At this point?
Down about 125.
Okay.
And that was another kind of, reason for I love the weight vest too because it kind of puts in perspective. Like people are like, how are you wearing a 20 or 30 pound weight vest? Because I used to wear a 125 pound weight vest all the time.
Wow.
Like 24/7. What's 55 hours with, or 100 hours with a weight vest?
Because I did this stuff before this.
I did that stuff before it. Like my feet and my knees were used to it. Like,
does it feel? I hate to say this because I know we kind of talked about it. Like you're trying to find how far you can go now because it's different, right?
Yeah.
So did it feel easier at Snowdrop?
Yeah.
Like even.
Yeah, and that's probably the third reason why I've started adding my weight vest and wrecking to ultras, because coming back, the first few felt too easy.
Okay.
I didn't get that sense of pushing through the discomfort and the,
So you wasn't
the
getting
suck. I wasn't getting that fulfillment of like, this sucks. I was having too much fun. So I had to make it more miserable by adding weight to kind of challenge myself more, to make it feel like it was worth, like you feel like a sense of accomplishment when you cross a finish line, when you're like, I pushed through like suffering and like discomfort and being uncomfortable, and I finished all that. And then when I finished before that, and it was like, that was too much fun.
So we have Snowdrop, another, how many miles was that time?
120, was this last one?
It was
125?
Yeah, okay.
124.97.
124.
Thanks, Snowdrop, for your 0.69 mile loop. Sorry. And then Victor had also challenged me to 125, so I sent him a screenshot, and I was like, this is BS.
That's crazy. So then it's Jackalope again. 5 what?
5 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Oh,
This one's gonna go over a little bit. Just a tad. That's okay with you. Okay.
I'm just letting you know. That's
Well,
all.
thank
We're
you,
on
though.
the time.
We
Thank
talk
you.
we can
That's
talk a
all
lot.
I'm
Just make sure the battery doesn't die.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching. I'm watching the battery.
Okay. No, you do that. I'm just.
We're moving along pretty
You
good,
do
I
your
think.
thing. I'm good. I'm just.
We're almost gonna have you jump in here in a minute because we're almost to that point.
You don't want me to jump, but I'll be here.
Listen to
Jump
Brian
up and
talk a
down.
little bit.
We just want to hear your voice. You have that. You have the
have that-
perfect
you have that
voice
DJ
for.
voice.
You have the voice for a video.
I have the.
That is mean. That is mean.
No, you know what he tells me? He tells me, "Oh, you got a face for radio." That's what he tells
Let's
me.
move along. Y'all are just.
I know we're mean to each other.
Y'all are mean to each
everybody
other.
know that me and Brian can be
It's
mean
the
to each
bro
other.
friendship.
It's a
I
bro
get
friendship.
it. I get
We're
it.
tight. We're
More
good.
therapy.
We're good. Yeah, we just need more
I'll
therapy.
just sit in for your next session.
Yes. So Jackalope Jam.
Okay.
That's this year. So now we're here to this year. 2 years, basically, from the anniversary of getting the call.
Mm-hmm.
What happens at Jackalope Jam this year?
I was going for the overall course wrecking record. We won't go into that.
Won't go into it?
There is a big reason for it.
We can use code words so the people
let's
that know, right?
Let's just say he didn't deserve it, and he was a Richard.
A Richard?
He was a Richard.
Oh, don't be a Richard.
Don't be a Richard. Anyway, so I was pushing for that, and
What was that?
206.
Okay.
So my goal was 208, one more loop,
208 with?
with a 30-pound weight vest.
Oh my God.
And I got...
And this is 100 hours. I'm just saying.
100 hours.
100 hours, okay.
I got 184, which was 30 miles more than what I did the year before. So
Oh my
that
God.
was a big accomplishment.
That is amazing.
It was fun.
That is really amazing. What was the hardest? Do you think at that point you start feeling like, okay, now I'm getting to where I'm feeling this discomfort again? Did that do it?
Definitely starting to have a little bit of foot and ankle issues on one foot. The weather was just miserable. The weather's always miserable there, and
It's like they cue it up, right?
Just to cue it up.
Jackalope's here. Let's queue up 4 seasons in a week.
pretty much,
what
yeah.
they do every year.
So, but it was still a good time, and the sleep deprivation, need to work on figuring out how to actually sleep
So
and rest.
is there anything left out there for you?
Oh yeah, I think so. I don't know if next year I have some other. I pretty much already have the first 6 months of 2026
Okay.
planned.
Oh my God.
So I don't think Jackalope Jam will fit in that next year,
Hey.
unless it's volunteering, which I'll go back to
Right,
volunteer
right.
because I need to rack up my volunteer credits again.
Hey, same here. So Jackalope, I just want to say that is a lot of miles.
There's a lot of miles.
That is a lot. That's more miles than most people do regular at
Yeah.
that event.
Yeah.
So obviously that's first overall woman's record, like in heavy rucking, right? For sure. I know they don't track that. They should track all these
They
things.
should.
And now they're going to run sign up. I don't know how they track it anymore.
I know, and I'm kind of curious, like, you know, other races and how that all like ties in, because you can go and see like records
right
for running, but rucking is still kind of working its way in there.
It is. I think it is.
So
It'd be cool to mix them together. I think we're the same type of people in a sense, right?
Yeah, I have some other events with rucking.
So then, after that, what happens?
Well, maybe about a week or two after Jackalope, again, Victor.
Victor, here we go with Victor again.
Who during the whole race was sending me he was tracking, sending me screenshots like, you got 200, you got 200, like pushing, like he's very great motivator, and he was like, you know, like still super proud, super impressed. Like if you ever want to do like TIR solo, or if you ever want to do like anything like that again, like I will crew, I'm gonna pace. And I was like, yeah, I would like to go back and do like Tour de los Tejas, which I didn't finish a couple years ago. That's another race that Trot did once. And I was like, in TIR, like, yeah, like one day I would love to do that solo. And he was like, what about this year? And I'm like, let's try to figure it out. It's like 12 days after Grasslands 100 that I DNF'd that one, but that was a great 80-mile training run for TIR.
Another 80-mile training run.
80-mile training run. It was not a DNF, it was a training run.
That's crazy. So 2 weeks, so Grasslands is basically about a month after Jackalope.
Yeah.
So we're still in this little 6-month window of you doing all these
things, and
and so then so it's 12 days after is when
it was 12 days after when I decided to start. And this was the thing, like Victor has run it solo twice. In the year I crewed Lydia running it solo, him and his partner ran, like they kind of leapfrogged, like one would run a leg while the other drove ahead, and he kind of ran half the course that year. So I say he's done it 2.5 times. So I was like, what do I need to do? And so he's like, email Jay, tell him this. And I got this huge long correspondence back from Jay, the race director, which basically telling me like, you know, for liability, like you're not in the race, we will give you a shout out. We've been told not to have people do this because again, liability reasons. And I can't tell you no, because these are public roads, and gave me all the resources I needed. And then I just kind of started coming up with this plan afterwards of like, okay, who do I need? Reach out to help. Like I reached out to you first, reached out to my dad, because I know he's talked about wanting to do something like this again, and he's retired, so he has all the time in the world, and just kind of started, you know, and of course
started the ball rolling.
Get the ball rolling. I emailed Trish and Steve and Jared with Snowdrop to be like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Like, I would love to do it as a fundraiser for Snowdrop, because I know Scott did it and Steve's done it solo. And what do I need to do to get like a fundraising page? And just everything just started falling into place after that.
Perfect. So we go from Jackalope 184 with a 30-pound ruck to Grasslands a month later, 80-mile training run. Then 12 days later, you're stepping foot into, with zero, like you had 12 days to plan, basically almost what it ended up being, like 3-day event. Pretty much like a 3-day solo supported, basically, like with your little crew going 200 miles from Gonzales, Texas to downtown Houston on those 2 feet.
Yes.
And so so it's all Victor's fault.
It's all Victor's fault. Blame Victor.
We done said that, Victor. It's all your fault. So we can spend the rest of the time on that. I got the time. You see that the number right there in the very left top corner.
Okay.
That's the amount left on the SIM card. So.
Okay. All right.
And I'm just keeping it real. I didn't plan it super good, but it's going to be a little extra long version. That's but at least we got a little bit of time to talk about it. So I don't know where do you want to start? Like the why. You kind of just said it.
The first Snowdrop, and there's 36 legs because this is normally a relay. So I wanted to dedicate each leg to a different child affected by cancer. So I remember like a week before this even started, sitting on my couch, bawling my eyes out because every name was a memory of. Until like eventually I got to like one name. I'm like, thank you somebody like was like, hey, you could do one for me. It was Abigail. She's like, hey, like I'm a survivor. Like I would love to do a leg for you. So that kind of got the ball.
Because there's 36 legs, right?
36 legs. So I was trying to fill every single one. It was hard, but at the same time, I'm like, it's kind of nice I don't have, like, I would rather this be 0, you know?
Right. So in memory of, for anybody that's, I mean, I know it sounds silly that I'm saying this, but in memory or in honor, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So in memory is someone who has passed, and then in honor is if they're still
here,
and they're still fighting.
Beat it, or still
beat
fighting.
it, yeah, right.
Fighters, survivors.
So how much did that help you get through these legs?
Definitely, it made me know that I was in the right headspace, I guess, and kind of knowing that this will help me when the suck happens. But I don't really think I ever had any suck. I had so much fun.
Let me say. Now y'all can rewind to last week's episode to where I talked about my experience, but I'm gonna tell it. Everybody probably say, watch that one. You'll know. I gave a behind the scenes of like what I thought about it, but watching you enjoy it so much. I mean, I enjoyed it a lot myself. Like it was so fun. It was such a fun experience.
I kept waiting for the suck to happen.
Me too. I kept waiting to see you like be miserable or be. I never saw it.
It was touch and go on Saturday.
The one day I wasn't there.
The one day you weren't there when it was really, really hot.
Not because I wasn't there, but it was. I went to go sleep in the day, and it was hot, right?
Yeah, it was.
But then you had Cal came out that day, and then you. That was the day everything kind of started.
I literally had taken like an hour and a half break at a gas station where the exchange was, and then had just started walking again. And all of a sudden, some car pulls in, and out pops Cal and Rachel. And I'm like, I don't even have a tracker on me. How do y'all know I was like right here? They're like, we just took a guess. I'm like, have y'all been like driving up and down the road? Like, it was great seeing them. I kept waiting for the suck to happen.
Since the suck didn't happen, do you have any moments during there was kind of that pop up in your mind you think about during the event that stand out?
Stand out like?
I got one because I was there, of course.
The creepy moment I had,
no.
Or when I came through and I was on that 6 mile stretch of highway. We were coming into town, and then you got this on video when I came in. I said I had to poop that whole time, and I was on a 6 mile stretch on a highway where like.
And she came in and I had the video like hidden up in the air. She didn't know it.
I actually Googled because it was at a Brookshire's, and I was like, is the Brookshire's open? And it closed. I was like, dang. I I knew there was a Buggy's around the corner, but I was like, I'm just gonna sleep until Victor gets here. And luckily he was like an hour late, so I got to sleep longer. That was a nice nap.
I remember us meeting someone along the way. That was a fun journey.
Oh, with the dog?
Yes.
Yes, the first day, I think it was like exchange 7, and we were on this dirt road, and y'all were there like.
I pulled up ahead, and the dog started hanging out with me.
Yeah, and at that point, like Victor had to go. My dad was driving Victor back to Gonzales. So you went to go get food. I took off down this road, and the dog followed me for 4 miles. I didn't think it was going to, so I didn't think to look to call the owners. Right, I wasn't turning. I wasn't doing negative miles. That was not happening.
We're not going backwards.
And all of a sudden, the road teased into. It wasn't a very busy road, but it was a main road. It was a main road with a big speed limit, and I was like, I'm not going to be responsible for this dog getting hit. So I called you. I called Dad. Eventually, you came back and you had chicken nuggets, so we got to lure the dog with chicken nuggets. We were going down the road, Brian, and I was putting nuggets so the dog would follow me and not her. Yeah. So I was driving down the road and I was like, here you go. The dog would get the nugget and I would pull up more. The dog. But I basically had a fun pacer for like 4 miles. She did. For a while, she had a pacer. And then as soon as I crossed the road, 3 dogs from this house ran across that freeway at me. And then I was like, now I'm going to be responsible for 3 dogs. And so I kept shooing them. One of them as a puppy to go back across the road. And so that was fun. I got to run with some cows, and I got to run with some possums and an armadillo. You had all kinds of pacers. I had all kinds of little pacers. It was fun. Chris in his van. That was fun. Yeah, I had to drive for the whole night. We drove. He drove like 3 miles an hour with me, 4 miles an hour. We just rode along because my injury, I couldn't do any running. So when you start getting and you're doing these videos and you're going through these emotions, is there any? They're all important. Yeah. Does that really help you a lot, get through
get through this, you think? Or keep you in the right mindset?
It does keep me in the right mindset, and like just having them be more personal than just be like, this leg's for so and so who passed away at 18, like, and then that being it. Like I'm like, I want to know like something about them. Not even, it doesn't even be about cancer. Like what do they like to do? What were they like?
Right.
So.
That was so beautiful that you did that. I know you did one for my friend and his daughter, and you did one for Brian and who he used
Chloe.
to, Chloe.
Chloe, yeah.
And it's just, I know everybody appreciates that, and that's just who you are. So it really was so cool for you to do that. And I think, this is not going to be the same, but I know, because I'm an Uber driver, and a lot of times I have to pick someone up and they're sick.
Yeah.
And they're from the hospital or whatever. And so, matter of fact, just a couple of weeks ago, I picked up this guy, and I went home and told the wife, I said, picked up this guy, and my normal thing is, hey, how you doing? How's your day? I picked him up from MD Anderson downtown.
Yeah.
I was taking him to the Hobby Airport. Oh, I'm doing all right. And I said, oh, okay, well, that's good to hear. Are you going home? Blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, yeah, I'm just here for, chemo.
For treatment, yeah.
Treatment. I said, oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. He goes, yeah, they're trying the last steps. He goes, but it doesn't look good. And I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
What do I say to some total stranger? And so I did end up somehow fitting in Snowdrop and talking to him about a little bit about what you just did, right? And I talked to him a little bit about that, but he wasn't really interested in hearing, to be honest with you. So then we kind of just chilled the rest of the time. But when I go home from these type of things, man, I woke up. I woke up 100% is what I was exactly what I was going to. Like during this thing, you may have pain, you may be hurting.
Someone else is having it worse than you.
100%. 100%. I really think that. So we get towards the end. How did it feel when you're getting close to the finish?
So the first time that I really started to feel sad that it was ending was when Isaac Fox came out. Was it Saturday night, Sunday morning? And so we had just gotten through George Bush Park, and we were kind of you're walking towards the skyline, basically. You see the Houston skyline. It's the middle of the night. It's Sunday morning, like at 3 a.m. We're about to head up to go meet Orc something before the morning. Anyways, early in the morning, Sunday. And I'm just like, I remember looking at him and being like, do you ever get just like really sad that one of these things is about to end? And he's just like, no. And I'm like,
but you were getting sad.
I was getting sad because I was having so much fun. And everything was just falling into place, like time-wise, of when I wanted to finish. And definitely the last leg, because I did the last one completely by myself. And I had like everything hit me all at once. Like I think I cried that whole 6 miles to St. Arnold's. Because I was like happy that it was ending, sad that it was ending, and having to make like Hudson's video. But I was also ready for a beer and just sit.
Right.
And just sleep.
So I have this bad habit of trying not to forget people.
Yes.
And show them appreciation. So Cal came out. Of course, your dad. I want to make sure your dad knows.
Dad was amazing.
He was a freaking rock star. He was just like, I got to know him really, this crewing to me turned into almost like an ultra race because I'm getting to know him through this adventure.
Oh, yeah, you make so many connections no matter what you're
doing. And he has a lot of background I think I know where you're getting some of your like stuff from, because he has some background of some stuff he used to do. And so a whole nother podcast. But he, your dad was awesome. Victor, I mean, he told me personally, and I probably said this in another one, but that he knew he had kind of planted that seed. Yeah, and he had to make sure you had some.
I was going to be very mad.
He was not. That was not even an option to him. He was like, "I'm showing up every minute I can."
Lydia came out, and Katie came out and did a leg, and was very appreciative of her. And then had Kathleen and Jason. We ran a whole block through some sprinklers, which was amazing. Nice.
That sounds like fun.
Oh yeah,
and I got that video.
And then Isaac's girlfriend Leanna, when I was pretty much the last 2 miles, she found me. Right. She found me on the bayou because she couldn't make it. Uh-huh. And then at the finish, Jeremy, Carmen, Pam and Brett, and Christina and Andy were all there.
Everybody showed up.
They probably just wanted to be
your
here, and mom and dad, of course. They've been at a lot of my big finishes, so.
You got great parents. They're always there for you. And
They're
you got
great.
A good group of friends.
Do.
I don't know what you.
They
What's
think
that?
I'm- they
What's
think
that
I'm
group
crazy.
you
They
call?
think I'm
What's that
crazy.
group called?
Hookers.
The hookers.
The
Yeah, I
hookers.
can't get into that group. 'Cause I'm not a hooker.
You're not a hooker. Yeah,
It's
you
okay.
have to earn your right into the hooker group.
She always tells me, "Oh, I got a hookercation." I was like, "Okay, have fun."
Yep,
You know,
we just
hey.
got back from one.
Me and Brian trying to do a bro vacation, but I stood him up. That's what he's telling me, at least.
This is what our therapy session was about. We're not going to go into that.
Anyway, so you finished. How was that finish line running through that big tunnel? How did that feel? Was that
That
kind
was
of
so
cool?
cool. And then I met with all of y'all, and then I was like, oh, I still have to run up there. And then hearing the announcer was really cool. What
It
she
was
said.
really cool.
But yeah, it's still I still was kind of processing those. It's been about a month now.
Yeah, it's been a while. Sorry
But
it took so long to talk about it.
No, it gave me time to probably process, even though it's still everybody's like, I don't know how you did that. I'm like, I don't know how I did it either. Like it just.
You did it the way you do everything else.
I just.
That's what I would say.
Just wing it, have fun, and thank you for the support from everybody because I couldn't have done it
100%.
I couldn't have done it all by myself. Like I try to do everything else.
Yeah, no more by yourself.
No more by myself.
And I learned that ultra running.
Sometimes you just have to force help on me.
Oh.
I'll accept it.
It's okay. We will. I learned some stuff from Victor. He taught me some stuff about crewing and pacing. So
Good,
and
good.
He
He's
really
a good
he
one.
really helped me. 'Cause it was my first time, doing something like that. So I was kind of just winging it. But you made it real easy. But I will say, you did this just like everything else I've seen you do. Like you made it look so fun. That's what I admire about you the most is everything you do. And it took me a time because when I first started hanging out with you, I probably didn't appreciate that the way I do now. I probably didn't appreciate it because I was still too much roadie.
So what's that?
I was still too much
Like,
roadie.
don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out alive. Like, just have fun with everything that you're doing.
I
Otherwise,
think,
it's not worth it. Like Andrew Glaze, smile or you're doing it wrong,
yeah,
right?
true. And I'm amazed by that because over the more we train together, the more we spend. Anytime I bring up time, whatever, you're so nonchalant about that stuff. Doesn't matter, but yet you've accomplished so much by having fun and doing you. So
If I didn't have fun, I wouldn't be doing it.
So if we're gonna wrap this up, I want to ask you if you had to describe your journey to someone that's sitting right now on the couch and they're in a position you were maybe 3 years ago, like what kind of advice would you give them?
Well, I will say right now, the era I'm in is my F it era. I don't know if I can cuss on here, so I'm gonna say F
You can do
it
whatever you
era.
want.
And you never know what'll happen unless you try. So just F it. Just try it and see what happens. If you don't accomplish it, you'll learn from it and you can, work through and figure out what you need to do to accomplish it. Like
Right.
you never know. And so, because I hate the people who say, "Oh, I'll never be able to do that." How do you know? Give it a go. Just try it. That's my advice.
That's great. That's great advice. And so, I don't know how to put this in words, but I don't know how to put it in words like the proper ways. I'm not great with my words. My wife will tell you I'm not great with words. And this is a very delicate subject. So, as someone I'm not going to say poster child, but I think you're a great example for women everywhere to look at someone who can go from being where you were with overweight and making a tough decision when a lot of people would say, oh, if you do that, you'll never run again.
Yeah.
And I think you've proved that wrong. I think you proved it wrong that no, why? Who says I can't?
Yeah.
Somebody once said you couldn't do X, Y, and Z and we're doing it now. There's 1,000 things you can look at that
Women
people said.
couldn't run a marathon before because their uterus would fall out.
Or what they used to say, I read one that said, oh, they'll never run under a 4-minute mile because their heart will explode.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things that people said we can't do, and now we're
doing it.
And so you're kind of, I know it's a big word, but pioneering this thing because when me and my wife talk about it, I always say, what she struggled with it for a while, and I was against her doing the surgery for a while. And then I finally thought, I don't know if it was me and you having a conversation or where it came from, but a thought got in my head to where, what if this is the one thing that she needs to get her over that hump?
Yeah.
Because the world has fed us crap. The world has fed us crap, which basically caters to us being overweight. I'll end the one thing that I'll say with this, and if you have anything else to say, I'll let you say it, but I'll end with me saying, I had a guy today in the car, we were talking about weight, and he said he recently saw a picture from the 60s, and it was a picture of a beach, and someone showed it to him, a picture of a beach, and all the people on the beach, in great, normal, what we would call society now, normal.
Yeah.
Like, hardly any overweight people in the 60s on the beach hanging out. A whole full beach full of them. They showed another picture, current picture. Everybody's overweight. Do you think, how does that happen? I mean, it's a whole nother podcast, trust me, but
yeah.
that happens. My belief is it happens because it's got fed to us, right? Like it's in our food, it's addictive things that are put in there to make us eat these things, and then we don't have control. So now how are we going to combat that? And so I think a surgery is an option for people to combat. That's the step they can do to change their life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work for everybody, because eventually what everybody says is if it's a step, but you still have to.
Yeah, you have to work hard.
You can still go backwards.
Yeah, mentally, but you have to work on the mental part, the physical part, all of it.
So
it's a lot of work.
Last but not least, how would you talk to somebody if they were thinking about doing this surgery?
I tell them go for it, but make sure you're in the right mind space to do the work and to retrain your way of thinking about how we eat and food and what you look at. And again, don't go, like we talked about, like don't have this number in your head. I know your surgeon will give you a number, but just go by how you look and how you feel. We all want to feel good.
Any regrets?
No, 0.
Awesome.
I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Awesome. Well, I'm
How
sorry.
many more days till snowdrop, Brian?
How many days of snowdrop?
247.
He didn't fall asleep. He's still back there.
No, I'm back here, man.
247.
247.
All right. Do you got anything you want to add? I know we kind of let you out of it.
Took over.
We got into
No, actually, but I mean that was the intent, which I told him from the beginning.
Yeah. Right.
So so there's two things. One, I will say this to both of you. Thank you for both of you being inspirational. And I will say this, and of course, as we realize, I think different than most. So, and I do realize, and I hate this, and it was interesting how you talk about, then and now from the 60s to now. You says, and I'm just saying this is something that she is inspirational to women. She's inspirational to anybody that has a heartbeat that sees it.
I agree.
That's one thing I hate is we do. I'm just saying for me,
No.
we kind of put a tag. She inspires the hell out of me. She does. And now what's even more, she inspired me then. She inspires me now. I can't even carry her damn shoes. Straight up, I'll be the first to say it. So thank you for you. And thank you for you being you. Because, and I say this, and it sucks, but it gives me something to look forward to. Just, you show me that I can get better. You show me that I can get better.
Well, thank you.
I need to step up, because I'm going to be honest with you. Now, maybe for Lisa, because she's a freaking rock star. And I swear, every podcast, her name has always been repeated.
Always.
Lisa.
Yes.
So, but I honestly don't know if I would have done what you did. Now I said, but we're saying Lisa. Lisa's a different story. But I'm saying, and of course, as we know, I'm not really out there that much as others. But the sacrifice even that you made,
Right,
was freaking awesome.
Well, thank you.
It's like 4 days for me.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
So
And I thank you for clearing that up, because I 100% agree with. She's an inspiration to everybody.
Thank you.
It doesn't have to be just to women.
Well, no. But what was interesting was, but I think it's not necessarily a fault. But and the thing is, but you kind of put that into my mind, because you're actually saying they put this all in our minds that we have to eat this much. I mean, that's what ticks me off. You get a plate, I'm like, I can't freaking eat all this.
Right.
Oh, let me get the kids menu. Oh, I'm sorry, we cannot serve you the kids menu.
Right.
Things like that. But anyway, that's not why we're here. But I just want to say both of you are inspirational on so many levels.
Thank you.
It makes me want to be better. It makes me want to do more.
Well, thank you.
So thank you for being with us on the runaround.
The runaround.
Run around.
Yeah, the
Here
runaround.
we go.
And, I couldn't run around right now if I tried. But
Yeah, well, thank you, everybody. We're going to wrap it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having
Thanks
me
for being on.
Let me talk
Hey,
a little bit about myself.
We're going to do it again. I promise you we'll do more.
so.
We'll have ultra running talks on here.
Ooh.
You excited about that? All right, guys. See y'all next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.